Hello YouTube, welcome back. This is the mighty Hupsaiya. I'm here again to show off something that I really enjoy doing as China. Now that we have a new patch that has increased the strength of China out of the dumpster, we're not in the ditch anymore. Let me switch into the in-game screen so that you guys can see. This is going to be a build order for how to get to Song Dynasty incredibly quickly and leverage that as an aggressive tactic so that you can kill your opponent. Over here you can see the build order, and I'm going to turn that off while I execute the build and try to talk and run through what's going on so that you can get a better idea of what to do. And before I continue, please, if you find this video helpful, hit the like. Please leave a comment. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so very deeply. So I'm going to shut that off. You can pause the video there to look at the build order if you need to do that. So we're going to start the game with an Imperial official. We're going to send our workers to the berries. We're going to gather our first close sheep, and we're going to go drop them off at the mill. You only want one of your workers to be building the mill here. So 5 of your workers are going to go to the berries, and one of them is going to build the mill. A little trick that I like to do here, we're going to put him onto the mill, and then we're going to press Control F, and we're going to tell the workers to go to the sheep. Control F selects a worker that is currently a food worker. So you can use that as a nice way to spread your workers out on the resources. Our first worker is going to build a house. We're going to be looking for sheep. We've finished our food saturation because we only go up to 7 on food, because our Imperial official is very helpful at making our food income very efficient. So we're going to rally 2 workers to the wood, and it's an important detail here. We do not make a lumber mill until much later in the game. So we're going to put these 2 guys onto the wood. We're going to do some forced drop-offs here to generate a little bit of extra tax. I talked about this in another video, that I do a lot of forced drop-offs to generate extra taxes for my Imperial official to gather. You don't need to do that as much anymore because they changed the Imperial official so that he can pick up 40 gold instead of just 20, which is actually a very large buff. So you see he picked up 39 gold there. Very nice, very nice. So we've gathered quite a few sheep. We're going to bring them back to our base. And here, right here, this is why we can't build a lumber camp, because we need to build a mining camp right now. And we aren't going to do any more forced drop-offs this game, because we want to maximize the amount of food income that we're getting from the Imperial official. We're going to get our next worker onto gold, and then we're going to rally back to food for 3 workers. I'm going to try and keep this realistic. This is a lot of sheep. 8 sheep is a lot of sheep for a single scout, because most people open with a second scout. We're going to go and make our lumber camp. So what I'm going to do here is not gather any more sheep. I'm going to go search the rest of the map with the scout, but I'm not going to gather more sheep, because we really want to like simulate the actual experience of playing against another player, and we would definitely not be able to get more than that. So we've got our 100 gold, or 200 gold, and our 400 food. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna build the barbican with our woodworker and not with a food or a gold worker. We're gonna get to 10 workers on food. I'm gonna just shift queue the scout around so that it does things. And then when we get to 10 on food, we're gonna rally to gold until we have 5 on gold. You actually do not need to worry about picking up tax gold from this point forward. So do not miss food drop-offs to pick up tax gold. You want this extra food that these guys are giving. So like I could do something like do a forced drop-off and then gather gold so that they don't drop off food while my Imperial official is away from the mill. See, it's gonna be close here. He's gonna get there right before they would drop off. So that was real close. You really don't want to miss any of this extra food income, because it really adds up super quickly over time that you're getting an extra 2 food from every worker. So we have to make our next house, because we're getting close to supply capped. And this guy's done with the barbican. He's going to go back to wood, because we do need some woodworkers. We're going to put 2 more on the gold. We can gather and go drop off. And then we're going to grab 5 workers from the food. Oh, dang it. I cannot box correctly. And we're going to make ourselves the Imperial Academy. That's 5, right? And then 3 of these guys are going to go from here to the wood. And 2 of them are going to go from here back to food. And we actually want 6 on the food while we rally to the wood. So our barbican's not in a great spot. We would have wanted it a little bit more forward to protect our gold, but no big deal right now. And we're going to build our Imperial Official as soon as we have the food for it. After this worker, we'll be able to build it. And now our opponent is Feudal Age, and we really want to go scout him so that we can know what it is that we want to build. You're going to build an archery range no matter what from this point forward. Oh, I forgot. Imperial Official. Imperial Official. Okay, there we go. Because we really want to boost this wood income. We're going to make Forestry and the Wheelbarrow. Because with the Imperial Academy giving us double tax money from upgrades, when this upgrade finishes, our lumber camp is going to get 60-something tax gold, which is a huge amount, right? So we can like force a drop off here so we don't miss food income, and we can pick up gold and drop it off and tell them to go back. And you see here, we got like 90 gold on this mill. So we can drop off here, and we can boost some more. And when Wheelbarrow finishes here, you see we get like 60-something gold. So that's a lot of gold income from that. We're going to make our archery range. And we're going to use our scout to figure out what our opponent is doing. Oh, whoops. We moved our town center a little bit. We're going to get to 15 woodworkers. We're going to get to 15 woodworkers, which seems like a lot, but you're going to need a lot. So what you're going to want to see from your opponent is they would have a second town center by now. And if they had a second town center already, you're going to get aggressive. You're going to get like really aggressive. But if they don't have a second town center, you're going to worry about what it is that they're doing aggressively to you. So you're going to scout for what their tech building is. We can pick up some more gold here. And we can pick up some more gold here. And then we can make +1 attack for our archers. We're scouting our opponent. We see a stable and a blacksmith. And he's a French player. So what do these things tell us? They tell us that we need to get unsupply blocked. Unfortunately, no big deal. They tell us what it is that we want to build, right? So if this was like a barracks, we could just continue making Zugnu, and that's all we would need to make. Since it's a stable, we can make a barracks, or we can make a stable ourselves. Either one is fine as an option to defeat an opponent going for what they're doing. But if it's a stable like this, we're going to go for +1 melee armor. And then I like to respond to this by making my own stable. And we're going to just make Zugnus non-stop. And when we get to 15 workers on wood, we're going to rally over to the food. And since we have plenty of gold or wood mining, we're going to be able to build up a lot of wood so that we can afford some rams. We actually have 16 here. So we can start baking horsemen. And we're going to continue scouting our opponent, right? Because, oh, we see with the archery range, right? So it's a very popular composition to make is archers and horsemen, or archers and spearmen. And you, as the Chinese player, can beat both of these compositions because of the Zugnu. And like I said, I didn't gather more sheep than I felt like I should have, because I didn't want to like simulate having too much food income over time from sheep. We can go from boosting the wood to boosting the stable, and we're gonna get ourselves the siege engineering upgrade. Oh darn, we are actually a little bit low on food. but that's okay. That's okay. When we run low on sheep here, we can go grab our deer hunt because we have really strong map control. So we see a small army. This is the AI. A human would have much more than this, and you need to be prepared to deal with what they're going to represent to attack you with. But basically, you just want constant Zugnu production, and because we're on Song Dynasty, we are actually in a pretty strong position economically, even versus people who go for a second town center. Because people who go for a second town center are going to take a lot of damage. You see, we're almost done with siege engineering here. So what we're going to do is move out onto the map towards our opponent. We're going to keep rallying to our berry bushes here. We only send a couple of workers out to the hunt, because if you send too much out here and they manage to get like a backstab on you, it's really bad. So remember, you gotta just focus fire knights versus France, and you're gonna focus fire spearmen versus everybody else. And we're moving across the map, and you could pull workers with you to go try and build towers if you really wanted to, but you're gonna drop a ram. Oh, this guy's being a jerk. And you're gonna just keep rallying. Oh, we ran out of food here. We gotta get on the berries. We really want to make these rams as quickly as possible. And we're gonna run out of supply here, so we need a new village. Please get out of the way, Mr. Enemy Scout. We're gonna redo our wood line. And basically, this is where you need to like make some judgment calls. Do you want to make another ram, right? If you feel like you can kill your opponent, make a second ram. If you don't feel like you can kill your opponent, don't make a second ram, okay? So when you send the ram in, your main target, if you're just trying to do damage, is killing houses and killing the production structures. So priority number 1 is always going to be killing your opponent's production structures. Because if you can kill their production structures, that's the thing that will snowball you into being able to kill them fastest. Like, if we kill their production structures and they were already low on units to begin with, that's like a win condition. But if you don't think you can kill your production, like if you get over here and they have a large amount of units, you probably want to cut it on the unit production yourself and start thinking about teching, getting the resource economy upgrades, because if you're versus an opponent that has gone for a second town center, you're going to fall behind economically, and the only way for you to climb back into the game economically is to get the economic upgrades like horticulture and double-bladed broadaxe. But you need to make some decisions for yourself at this point. Do you make a third ram? Do you make a second ram? Those are on you. Do you think you can end the game? Make more rams. If you don't think you can make end the game, stick with only one ram. Try and maybe kill like a lumber camp or a mining camp. Kill workers if you can. Try really hard to preserve your Zugnus because they're very expensive. They cost gold. So your horsemen or your spearmen, whichever you decide to add to your composition here, these are the units that are expendable. The Zugnus are not expendable. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below the video. If you could leave me a like, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you have any suggestions on how to improve this, I would also really appreciate those. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening. Peace.